The next speaker we'd like to have here is Ray. He is a distributor for Charlotte's Web. He is now our new chairman for our board. So let me welcome Ray. Ray, we love you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Manny. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I'm really honored to be here and to be given this platform to present for you guys and to meet you guys. I'm going to share a little bit about who I am and how I got here and my involvement. And so, whoops, wrong place. So, I got interested and involved in the cannabis industry in 2010 when I saw the CNN documentary by Dr. Sanjay Gupta called Weed, which was about a little girl in Colorado. Her name is Charlotte, and she had Dravet syndrome, which is a form of intractable epilepsy that basically is not helped by medications, and these kids who have Dravet syndrome will go on having hundreds of seizures on a daily basis. And so I remember I was sitting home and I was watching this documentary, and it sparked hope because my daughter Emily, who's 12 years old now, also has Dravet syndrome. And at that time when I was watching this documentary, Emily was having about 120 seizures every day. And she had tried and failed 13 medications and a ton of other treatment plans. And so I got very interested, and I was an optometrist teaching at optometry college where I graduated from. And I loved my career and my job, but at that time when I watched this documentary, and based on some experience which we'll talk about through next slide, I quit my career of teaching at optometry college, and I got involved in this industry. And I figured out very quickly in California, at that time especially, that I had to learn to do it myself. I really did, and I couldn't find the right resources and places and products. And so here's a little timeline of what happened. So through a couple of years of experience that I gained, I launched a foundation in California that started in Colorado called the Realm of Caring Foundation, which I'll talk more about as we go through the slides. And also with the help of my brothers, the Stanley brothers in Colorado, we launched the California distribution of Charlotte's Web products also in 2013. You know, I went on with Dr. Bonnie Goldstein, who I'm so honored and happy that you're here, Dr. Goldstein, that you're going to present for us. And me and Dr. Goldstein started going around the state because we realized that there is such a lack of education and knowledge going on. And we went on and we did a tour of cities where we got into rooms like this and educated everybody who was interested, from patients to families to medical community, about the science of cannabis and how it might help their children and the epilepsy in specific. And then recently realized that the same need for good quality THC products existed. So through the help of my brothers here in California and also the Stanley brothers, we launched and customized a THC line of oils that was specifically made to help the pediatric patients who needed THC oils. And then finally I realized that somebody needs to help these patients to figure out how to use these products, so I opened up a little clinic where I do free consultations to help families learn about the products that are available and the dangers of pesticides and how to dose and so on. So, and finally, I have to say I'm so honored that I was selected and elected as the chairman of the board of the High Desert Cannabis Association, and so I thank everybody at the board for that. And I'm hopeful that I'll be able to assist and help them as much as I want them to help me, and I want all of you guys to help me, and I'll talk about that also in a little bit. So moving on, you know, I got to work after watching the documentary. This was my first lab in 2013, which was literally 300 square feet, small tiny room where I was doing all of my experimentation, growing, extracting, testing, just learning it, and all of this was so that I can give it to my daughter who was having 120 seizures every day. And she was on 4 very heavy psychotic medications. She had lost the ability to speak, the ability to walk at that point. She couldn't go to school anymore. And so we were literally losing our child. I remember in 2013, I think it was May or June of 2013, the 8 neurologists that we were going to, because we kept changing neurologists because we had hoped that there would be another doctor that might have an answer or some kind of an option that the other neurologist hadn't told us. But it was always the same medications, different formulas, different combinations. So the 8 neurologists at that point pulled me aside and said, Ray, I'm going to be very honest with you, you have to go home and enjoy your daughter as much as you can. It doesn't look good. I don't think, or I don't know how long she's going to last. And so she was giving us a heads up to go and prepare ourselves for that day. And, I could feel it because as Emily was having her 100th seizure at that time, I remember I was looking down at her on the floor shaking, and I was just, death had hovered over her. I was looking at her and I was thinking, I'm going to lose her any second now. And this was the time that this documentary came out. And these hopeless parents, me and my wife, just boom, we had a spark of hope. There's one more thing that we have to try. And so I got to work and I got a lot of my training from the Stanley Brothers. I spent a lot of time in Colorado. These guys came down to California and spent a lot of time with us. And I'm so thankful, and I'm going to be forever grateful for that, for you guys, because you guys saved my daughter's life. And the interesting thing is today is International Dravet Syndrome Awareness Day. And I'm here on this day, and I feel like it was the best possible chance to raise awareness of Dravet syndrome. And some of the things that you see on the screen, like every 4 minutes somebody gets diagnosed with epilepsy, that's an epidemic, that's crazy. It's true, it's real. And really, 30 seconds to some of you might be nothing, but when you're watching your daughter have a seizure for 30 seconds, that to you it's eternity. There's a lot of kids with Dravet syndrome or other intractable epilepsies that have seen massive benefits with cannabis oils. So let's talk about it. This is Emily. This is Emily having one of her seizures that lasts about 3 minutes. In general, it's what we call tonic-clonic seizure, also called a grand mal seizure. Usually we'll just drop and go into a jerking mode for about 1.5 minutes, where every single muscle goes into a convulsion. And she can hardly breathe at this point. And after 1.5 minutes, it stops. And as soon as she wants to catch her breath, it starts again and goes into a tonic mode, which you'll see in a sec, which is when she goes stiff and just stays there for about 1.5 minutes. And that's when she really can't stop breathing, and a lot of kids do. And they turn blue. So it's a state of emergency. And imagine seeing your child going through about 120 of this every day. And this is what happened to Emily from 5 months old. And I have to say, her first ever seizure was 2.5 hours after her measles vaccinations. She had absolutely no problems before that. But at 5 months old, she started having seizures that would last 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. She would have to be intubated. She's been induced coma. And so 13 medications, that's pretty much double what's available for epilepsy. Half of those are not even epilepsy medications. Half of those medications are medications that are prescribed to severe migraine or disc or severe pain or bipolar or schizophrenia or so on. But they're also prescribed to little kids who have epilepsy because nothing is working. They're trying to shut down the brain so that the seizure activity doesn't happen and the neuroactivity doesn't happen. And through shutting down the brain, few years down the line, your child stops or regresses or stops talking, or they lose function, basically. And that's what happened to Emily. Emily spoke fluently in Armenian and English up to 7 years old, and almost overnight she stopped talking. I mean, it was like somebody pushed the mute button on her, and she hasn't talked ever since. She was almost losing her ability to walk and run also. She was basically in a vegetative state, not necessarily because of epilepsy, but because she was on such heavy doses of medications that weren't really helping. And also because she was having 100 of these every day. And so when I started Emily on cannabis oil, I went around California because after the documentary I found out that I cannot bring this from Colorado to California. It was against the law at that time to transport. So I went to about 150 to 200 dispensaries, all the way from San Diego to San Jose and even Oakland. And I purchased boxes and boxes of product that said CBD on it. Came home and tried them, none of them really worked. She would get very high at times, she would still have seizures. After the fact, when I tested, I found out 90+% of these products didn't even have CBD or had traces of CBD in there. Mostly it was liquid glycerin or alcohol, or there was really nothing there. But they were labeled as CBD. And so finally, you know what happened, and this is a fascinating part of the story. I went onto social media and I I did posting in every wall that's related to CBD or cannabis or Charlotte's Web at that time. And I said, I'm looking for the Stanley Brothers, I'm desperate, I'll pay, I'll do anything you want. Somebody help me, somebody get me in touch with them. And I was so surprised. Next morning, I got an email from Joel Stanley saying, a lot of people are saying, you're looking for me, what's going on? And I think about a week or so after that, I was in Colorado where I met Josh Stanley. And that's where this whole thing started. You know, shortly after that, I was able to give Emily her first dose of Charlotte's Web. And Emily was the first child in California that started Charlotte's Web. And it was so amazing. Immediately, she had a 50% reduction in seizures. And ever since then, it's been about 4 years. Emily, today, came off of all of her medications. Emily came off of all of her medications and she has 1 seizure a week, on general. And she walks, she runs, she jumps, she goes to school, she plays, she's a happy child. And I'm here to tell you that she talks much more than before. She absolutely talks. You know, everything is coming back slowly. And I have to say, the Stanley Brothers Charlotte's Web Cannabis saved my daughter's life. It really did. And it's not only her. Through my experience of going through with this industry and opening up the offices that I did, I have about 1,000 what I call my 3-foot cannabis soldiers who fight and who change this industry every day, because these are the ones who are in the forefront. These kids are changing this industry for all of us. And we owe it to them. We really do. So Emily is using CBD every day. She also uses THC and THCA. I want to tell you, CBD, in the most basic way of explaining it, it's a non-toxic, non-psychoactive component. It absolutely doesn't make you high. It is very safe. There's never been any side effects reported with it. It is a product that's used as an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and a neuroprotectant. And Emily uses about, I want to say, 450 milligrams of CBD per day, and she has gone as high as 1,200 milligrams of CBD at one day. And I have other customers who also use over 1,000 milligrams of CBD, on a daily or a weekly basis. And that translates to a lot of product material, a lot of plant material, so to do it the right way especially. But CBD has helped Emily's seizures. THC and THCA, which are the other components of this plant, which are psychoactive. This is the component that will make you high. THCA for Emily works as a postictal relief, meaning when she has a seizure and after the seizure, she goes through about 2 hours of tremors and headaches and pain and tiredness. A little tiny bit of indica THC oil calms her down, makes her happy, makes her be able to eat, makes those tremors go away, makes her function again. And THC, according to NIDA, is extremely close to, and it works almost exactly the same as another natural component that's in the brain. And this research is such a general, basic research that's available to everybody to look at, that how this stuff works. And I'm glad Dr. Goldstein is here today, because she's going to talk a little bit about this, and how the cannabinoids work in our brains and in our bodies. But Emily uses this. A lot of our customers use both of these components very successfully. I have in my Burbank clinic, office that we do consultations from, I regularly see autistic patients or clients who come in who are type of autistic who are very hyperactive and they have behavioral issues where they hurt themselves or hurt their loved ones. They beat their moms up, they beat themselves up. And you can see that these moms or dads come in with bruises all over themselves because these kids are biting them or beating them up. And it has happened a couple of times in our office where if I didn't intervene, I felt like this kid would kill her mom. I mean, it was because they were nervous. But this is how tragic and violent these conditions are. And believe me, and I have testimonials that I can offer you guys, I mean hundreds of them now. THC oil calms these kids down so much that they lose that behavior and they lose that rage and anger and they become normal and happy and relaxed. And it's so important to consider how much these are helping these kids. And I just want to share that with you guys. But I also want you to note that both of these are patented by the US government, and that's the patent number. And the US government patented this under antioxidants and neuroprotectants. Okay? So it's not a hoax, folks. It really works. Everybody knows. Even our federal government knows that this is working and it's medicine. We need research. We need the proper laws, the proper ordinances, the proper opportunities that will allow companies and fine organizations do what they need to do the proper and the right way so that they can produce oils that are safe and affordable for kids like my daughter. I gave Emily Charlotte's Web. Maybe it was because I saw Charlotte on CNN and she had the same condition that Emily had, and I said, that's it, I have to try it. And maybe because I literally tried and experimented with hundreds of products in California that failed. And I real quickly figured out that California really needs help when it comes to real medical marijuana, when it comes to a product that's consistent and that's safe, that's trusted, that's available, and I couldn't find it in California. The only way I found that was through Charlotte's Web and Stanley Brothers in Colorado, because they offered the most consistent and the safest product. And I trusted it because test results were there. Everything was tested. And I trusted it because when I gave Emily the dose of CBD and it helped her, I knew that 2 years from now, if I get Stanley Brothers, Charlotte's Web, it's going to be the same exact oil that I gave Emily 2 years ago. Nothing would change. It was going to be the same exact consistency and quality. And it matters. It matters for a patient or a child like Emily that comes off of most of or all of their medications and they're now having 80-90% less seizures, and now the producer or the company either changes their product or they won't have it available anymore. What's this child supposed to do? You know, if I come to a point where I cannot give Emily her Charlotte's Web anymore, Emily might have a status seizure, which is a seizure that goes on and doesn't stop. I might lose her. I have to trust that this product that I'm giving her is going to be available at all times, and it has to be consistent and pure and safe. And so that's why I advocate for Charlotte's Web. I represent them. I distribute this product in California. In August of 2013, we started talking about Charlotte's Web in California. I came and started a Facebook support group called the Pediatric and Adult Cannabis Support Group and started talking in there about Charlotte's Web and CBD for epilepsy. By December, we had 750 Californians that joined that group, and I think about 6 months after that, we had 12,000 people on a waiting list to receive Charlotte's Web. Wow. That was the demand. And it was very clear that we have to do something, and I'm so happy that the Stanley Brothers and their family agreed and decided to help all of these desperate kids and their families. In December of 2013, we took 27 people in California off of the waiting list. By the end of 2014, there was no more waiting list. Everybody was getting it. Everybody's still getting it. There is a THC line that's coming soon, within the next couple of months, I hope, that is promising the same exact consistency and quality that Charlotte's Web offers to the THC patients. because honestly, and I'm not against the cannabis industry in California or the dispensaries. I'm for all of it. I'm advocating for everybody. But this quality standard is missing. It has been missing. We all have to do our parts to get it to where it is. We all have to realize that maybe 1 out of 10 patients that walk into your dispensary is a very fragile child like my daughter who cannot risk having a product that is not pure or has pesticides that are not safe, or fungus or mold, or a product that is not consistent. We have to realize that the new generation of cannabis users are little kids as young as 4 months old who have brain tumors, and we need to make sure that we offer them the highest quality standards and products in this industry in California. And so that's why I advocate for these products, and I advocate for anybody else's products who meets or comes close to these standards. And I tell you, I offer consultations to people in my office regardless of what product they're using, as long as I have test results, as long as I have the opportunity to look at what's in that product. I have people coming to my office with a ton of variety of products that I decline, and I educate the parents, but I also have a handful that are great products in California, and I advocate for them, and I do consultations at no charge to these parents, and I help them. And I would give those products to my child if Charlotte's Web stopped working. But honestly, it's 5%, not more than that. 5 to 10% that I would give to my daughter. This is the couple of shots from the labs in Colorado, the Charlotte's Web. I have to say it's a open door policy for anybody that's there to go and tour the facilities, and I urge that if anybody is there to go and just experience how things are done, and the level of professionalism and the care that's taken and given to making these products, because they all know that it's going to a lot of pediatric patients and patients that need it. And it doesn't matter if you're pediatric or adult, every patient needs to have high standards. Imagine if you're an adult with cancer who's doing chemotherapy, your immune system is shot. The last thing you need is some mold-infested or pesticide-infested product. And so, fully FDA-compliant lab, I invite anyone that wants to go tour it, please let me know. I will set that up for you. Go and see this facility. These are the types of facilities and operations that need to come to California. And we're here to help. If you need our help and our consulting and our input, definitely open to that. Every product is tested, even the product that I make here or the product that comes from Colorado. Every product has a batch number in the back of the box. Every patient or customer can take that box and the batch number, go to the website and download their test result. The testing is always done for potency, purity, solvents, pesticides. Everything is tested at every single batch. And it's always available for free to anybody that's buying these products and using them. That's the way every product should be, every single time, in my opinion. And so I just wanted to say that there is a right and a good way of doing it, and a wrong and a quick way of doing it. And so big part of the reason why I decided to join the High Desert Cannabis Association also was because everybody that was there was also mutually agreeing to that this is the standard that they have to set in California. These are the people, the cannabis business owners that I joined because they all agreed that this is the only way that we have to do it. We have to raise the standards and we have to offer quality product that's always tested. And so with that, I'm going to go into realm of caring. Realm of Caring Foundation was founded in Colorado by Paige, Charlotte's mom, Heather Jackson, who's Zakai's mom, who also has gone years seizure-free because of Charlotte's Web, who also has a form of epilepsy called Dose syndrome. So Realm of Caring Foundation is a non-profit 501c3 that offers free resources to anybody that's using cannabis oils or cannabinoid therapy. Some of these resources that we offer are almost a necessity, I have to say, because a parent like me in 2013 had absolutely no idea of how to use it, how much to dose, where to get it from, what's safe, what's not. And so, you know, I would walk into a dispensary and a bud tender who was paid to work there would give me a product, and I would have to trust that that bud tender knows everything about epilepsy and everything about all the medications that my daughter is taking and the interactions that might be possible. And obviously they don't. They might act like they do, but they really don't. And so a parent like me has to trust that this product will work based on what the label says or what the bartender is telling me. And so I found out, and that's why the Realm of Caring Foundation was formed, and I found out that we need something like that in California, and through the help of Paige and Heather and the Stanleys, we formed the California chapter of the Realm of Caring Foundation. This was my first set of patients, customers that came through, and these were the first kids in California that got cannabis oils through us. They are my heroes. This is some of my clients that come to my office to pick up products on a weekly and daily basis. There are some amazing, amazing success stories there. I want you to go to Face of Cannabis, their website, just Google Face of Cannabis, it'll come up. And all of their stories are there, their bios are there, and it's just amazing how this has worked for all of these kids. But the website is the roc.us, and or Google Realm of Caring, it'll take you to the website. There is a lot of good resources there at no charge, both to the patients and the families, and also to the medical doctors and providers. I'm going to highlight some of those resources. First of all, free consultations on the phone or in person to anybody that's using a supported product. That consultation is at no charge. We talk about dosing, safety, where to buy products, interactions with medications, and so on. I want to also say that Charlotte's Web is and has been as part of an observational research registry that's now very proudly being guided by Johns Hopkins, which gives this product a lot of validity in my opinion. I mean, every patient that picks up this product can go and for free sign up and register to be a part of this observational research registry, which means you're going to share your experience there, and we're going to look at that experience and try to help other people based on what happened to you. And imagine if you have thousands of people who are inputting data in here, and then I can look at that data, and we can look at that data and help everybody else, and we can learn from those experiences, and this is what it's all about. And so we have a few hundred patients that are signed up now and input and share data on a daily basis with us right now. I have to talk about the Joy Fund, which is a resource and a benefit of the Realm of Caring Foundation. The Joy Fund gives grants to families who live in states that are not legal, but they want to relocate to a state like California or Colorado that is legal. We will cut you a check and help you out to make that move. And so that is a huge benefit, and those checks have gone out to several families already. And also the Realm Cares, similarly, if a family qualifies through the application process and they are in need of financial assistance, meaning they cannot afford to buy the products, we will give you a grant that you can use to purchase Charlotte's Web and the supported products, other products. And so these are the types of resources that the Realm of Caring Foundation offers in California and in Colorado and across this country, but we have an office in California as well. And any of your patients, for people who are in the cannabis industry, any of your patients who are buying our products or supported products, please refer them to us. We will help them. We're going to take that burden off of your shoulders. You don't have to, or your bud tender doesn't have to. And I'll tell you, I do this because I worry, and I don't want you to give the wrong advice to this very young epileptic or cancer patient. We're gonna use our experience, and we're gonna help these kids for you for free, always. Okay. This is the office in Burbank. Again, open to anybody that wants to come and tour. We have a few doctors there that specialize in neurological conditions. I am there with appointment. Again, offer a lot of consultations. Products are available. A lot of product education goes on there also. And that's me, and that's what I do. And I thank you for listening to me. Thank you.